Many months later.
I already know what's gonna happen, right? Got to do an update. Hey, you guys. Today marks 5 years. Not one, not two, not three. 5 whole years of being abstinent. Praise God. We back. 3 years later, praise God. So today is Friday, September 27th, 2024. Yesterday was my 5-year anniversary. Again, praise God. I couldn't have done it without God. So I was being consistent at first with, I said I was going to do a 6-month update. Every 6 months I was going to do an update on my abstinence journey. And then I got inconsistent. So now that I'm coming back to YouTube and I'm about to really like put out some great content, I'm about to be consistent, I'm gonna do this. Of course, I'm not gonna post a video every 6 months, but I'm gonna do every 5 years. Prayerfully, I don't have to go another 5 years, but if I do, I just wanna be in the will of God. That's it. So if I never have sex again, as sad as it may be, I just wanna be in the will of God, like honestly. And I know some people say that religiously, but like the first 2 years, I was like, Now 5 years, I'm like, okay, God, I really just wanna be in your will. Because we don't know how long, like, we don't know when Jesus is coming back. We don't know when we're going to take our last breath. So I just want to make sure that I'm in the will of God. And if I never have sex again, that's just what God has for me, which I don't believe that. But I want to give y'all a quick update. So a lot of things haven't really changed much. Of course, I'm aware about what I watch. I'm more aware about what I listen to. What I've learned about these 5 years, what I really seen consistent with the enemy is every time around my cycle, it's always like I may get a little emotional, get a little lonely, like, oh, I just want to have a kiss. I just want a hug. I just want some type of intimacy with a man. But what I've come to realize, that's intimacy that I need with God. That's my spirit crying out, okay, you need intimacy with God. I've kind of learned that within these 5 years. I'm very aware about who I follow. I'm not gonna sit here and act all religious and act like I just follow everybody that's saved. I have some unsaved people that I don't follow, but of course, I follow more Christian content. When it comes to movies and stuff like that, if it's a lot of sex scenes, I'm not watching it. Like, of course, I have to read and watch the trailer. If it's like one little sex scene, I'll just skip it. But if it's like a whole bunch of sex scenes and I know about the show, I'm not gonna watch it. Like, that'll be crazy for me as a Christian woman that's trying to be abstinent to sit there and watch that. Like, come on now. So yeah, and a lot of romantic movies, I've seen them before, so there's certain scenes that I'm like, okay, yeah, you can't watch that. You can't watch that like you used to watch it. I would say I'm not gonna act like I'm so strong in this or whatever, but of course I'm doing what I need to do. I'm not allowing men coming to my house. I'm not having people on my phone. I'm not sitting here entertaining men. I'm not going on any dates right now. Right now, I just wanna build my faith up. I feel like I went through this season where I was on fire for God. Like in the beginning, I feel like everybody when they come to Christ, when they come back to Christ and they get reborn, they just on fire for God. And then it's kind of like it kind of just slightly just burns out a little bit. And I kind of feel like that's the season I went through. I was like on fire for God. In 2020, I was like on fire for God. And then like towards the end of 2020, I started to just like, and then 2021, it was like, I was really like lukewarm, a little more religious. 2022, I came back on fire for God, but I was still going through a lot of healing and stuff like that. 2023, I kind of was just, I can't even describe 2023. So in 2024, I'm like it's kind of like I'm going through that phase again of just really getting back on fire for God. So yeah, that's pretty much my update. My mentor says, you fornicated on a mattress. If you fornicated on a bed, you need to get rid of that. If you have old clothes from when you used to fornicate, you need to get rid of that because there's still residue on there. And I can look at certain videos and certain pictures that I've took in the past, like in 2020, 2021, and I was like, ooh, you can tell that I still had seduction on me. You could tell that I still was like, of course I wasn't fornicating, I wasn't living in sin, but you could still see like the little residue that God was still working on me. In order to really be like serious about this journey, you have to make the proper precautions. Like, you can't be sitting up here saying, I'm gonna let my boyfriend come over, we gonna lay in bed, we not gonna have sex. Come on now. We have flesh. And the flesh is weak. So it don't take but a second. It don't take but a second. And like I said, what I've learned is taking breaks from social media. So usually what I do is I go maybe a few months and then I, go ghost for a couple months and I come back and stuff like that. So that has helped me with this journey as well, because like I said, you don't even have to be following people. You don't even have to like a post. It's just stuff will just pop up. Like Twitter, ooh, that's the enemy's territory. You gotta be careful on Twitter. When I used to be on Twitter like that, I would be like, oh my gosh, like, why is this on my screen? I don't follow these people. What is going on? Even now it's on Instagram. So it's like, you just gotta be careful. So that's my update. Like I said, praise God, I made it 5 years. Prayerfully, I don't have to wait another 5 years, but if I do, I will be back with my 10-year anniversary. I did the 6 months, the year, the year and a half, the 2 years. So if you still here, praise God. I pray that you go on this journey with me, because for one, it's not just like by choice, it's what God commands us to do. That's our reasonable service. Like, that's at least we can do, is honor our bodies to God, because when we fornicate, we sin against our own body. And it's nothing benefits from fornication. That's what I learned. Like, I wish I could go back, but I feel like I had to go through that season to realize that fornication, there's no benefit out of it. It leads to diseases, unplanned pregnancy, nothing that benefits it. So that's why at first I would look at people that got married and they fornicated before they got married, and I'd be like, well, they get married. But then I'm like, no, but they're in fornication. And not to just like try to compare my life to that, but it's just like, I fornicated before. I fornicated all my life. So now I'm looking back, none of the relationships worked. None of the relationships worked because I was in sin. But God has been blessing me throughout these 5 years. I went through seasons where I was, maybe a little sad or a little depressed, but God has never failed me. Throughout this whole season, God has just been blessing me mentally, financially. Like, of course, God is still doing things in my life. God still have things for me, but God has just really been just doing what he does best, is being a father. So yeah, I don't see any benefits of fornication. None whatsoever. I mean, like I said, temporary pleasure that's gonna lead to a lifetime of consequences. So I want my marriage to honor God, and that's gonna be in the covenant of waiting until marriage. In order to honor God, we have to do it by the word, which is, of course, we court, not date. We court. We get engaged, we get married, and then we have sex. And people like, well, how you know the sex is gonna be good? Well, you have to get free from those soul ties. You have to stop comparing what you did before when you were having sex to the last one. You can't be doing it. So if you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment. I'm still getting back to YouTube. This is my first video that I've made. Well, my first serious video that I made in the past 4 years. I had did some videos before this, but then I'm like, I wanted to redo them because I feel like it was not led by God, and I want my content to be led by God. So if you like this video, go ahead and like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you.